Welcome to toy rotation organizing video. So toy rotation may seem kind of simple in theory. You just give your kids some toys, hide the old ones for some time so that when you give them back, they feel like they're playing with all new toys. Now, when you actually go ahead and try and set up a toy rotation system, you might get all of these questions in your head like, what kind of storage do I use? Should I hide it from my kids? Where do I keep all the rotation toys? How many rotations should I have? How often do I exchange them? What kind of toys do I put in the rotation? What about books? What about their favorite toys? And so on. If you can relate to any of this, I'd love to share with you what I have learned throughout this process, and I think you will find this video very helpful and most of all motivational. So we're gonna start organizing. Now this is the overlook of the playroom we're dealing with. All of the toys in the house are kept in here. The kids are allowed to take them out to play downstairs for the day, but then as night comes, all the toys come back into the playroom. And while the idea of keeping all the toys in one place works well for us, this one place now looks messy all of the time. So I needed to set up a toy rotation system, but I kept putting it off until I was actually ready. And then we get a snowstorm. In our state, we don't get many of those because we live in the south, so we were not going anywhere, and I decided that was the time. I have been trying to do my research on this topic, but actually talking to you guys in the comments was the most helpful source of information for me. So now I had a visual plan in my head. I brought in boxes and containers from all over the house. I did not know how many rotation boxes or packages I was going to end up with, so I brought in about 6 or 7 and decided to start from there. Of course, I made sure that all the toys from the house are in this one playroom that like they're supposed to be, and now I'm trying to put all of the toys into one big pile in the middle of the room. After doing my research, I have discovered that a lot of people use plastic boxes or bins for their toy rotations. Some use boxes or whatever they can get. I personally prefer diaper boxes because they're readily available and also they're not see-through. Because I have some experience trying to explain to my 2-year-old daughter why she can't play with some toys that she is seeing somewhere on the shelf. And also there is not a place in our house where she's never gonna go, so I can't really hide them anywhere so that she wouldn't see them ever. But it really is a personal preference for people like using for their toy rotation packages. I know that a lot of people use plastic bins. Another thing I have discovered is that some people do about 4 packages and exchange them every week. Some people do 6 or 8. It just depends on, I guess, how many toys people have, and it just depends. But I found that to be a good thing for me because I was just my own boss and I could just go with the flow and see how many packages I was gonna end up with. I'm sorry, I actually never introduced myself. My name is Jenia and I come from the country of Russia. I am married to an American and we have 2 little kiddos together, a 2-year-old girl and a 11-month-old boy. We are a pretty happy family. I stay at home with the kids, my husband goes to work, and I love doing all these organization, real-life cleaning videos. So if you enjoy that kind of content, I hope you consider subscribing to this new channel of mine. But either way, there are so many things to consider when doing toy rotation because all kids are different and everybody has different amount of kids and amount of toys. And of course, I will be mentioning all of those points as I go through this video. And for now, I decided that since we have a smaller townhouse and not a lot of storage space for a lot of boxes, and we only have 2 kids, I was gonna set their rotation packages together and not separate. Not a separate box for her and a separate box for him. I was gonna put both of their toys into each package together. And now that all of the toys are in one big pile, I'm gonna start categorizing them by taking the bigger toys out of the pile first and separating them by type. For example, soft toys all in one pile, then all of the books, then all of the big toys, all by the window for right now, and so on. If you agree or disagree with any of the things I'm doing so far, please leave your advice or opinion in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you.
All of the hustle, we wanna get away. Another day of beg, steal and borrow, and that is safe to say. No, they don't pick us up, instead they knock us down, and that's the way it goes until we're in the ground. I don't wanna do this anymore. Hey. No, I just wanna say hello and do whatever I like. It doesn't matter if they say so, 'cause I can put up a fight.
Okay, so the important point is that when I was ready to start putting everything into boxes, I was gonna write everything down. Not every single little toy, but the main sort of topic of this box. For example, the doctor stuff is in this box and her musical instruments are in that box. Because my plan was to have in each box a certain amount of soft toys, a certain amount of books, a certain amount of puzzles, and some special package toy, for example, the doctor stuff, or this is her cleaning supplies, and so on. So therefore, I'm trying to separate them accordingly right here and see how many sort of special toy packages I can come up with. So far, for example, I have little animal toys and then musical instruments, doctor toys, and I'm going to see how many more I can come up with.
Thoughts are only getting louder. While you are up in space, I sit here by myself. Are you gonna spill the truth or waste your life away? Sitting on your fingertips, so I know what you're...
Although it may not look like that to you, those are actually categories. I have special toy packages, toys for my small baby package, books, dolls and soft toys, and puzzles, and a few other things that I will be taking care of a little bit later, such as fabric toys like her clothes for her dolls or fabric books, some building blocks, and we still have that bunch of small miscellaneous toys that I have to go through. And my first step is going to be to put all of the soft toys into each box and come up with some sort of equal amount, hopefully. It's also crucial to understand that a lot of kids have some special toy that they will just not do anything without or go anywhere without. Like my daughter has one, my son does not. Maybe he's too young for it, but obviously that kind of toy is not going anywhere anytime at all.
Forgive your flaws if you're forgiving mine.
So I gave her a couple of soft toys in every single box and added a baby doll for each of the 5 boxes. She happened to have 5 baby dolls. And now I'm gonna take care of the books, go through them, see what we need and what we don't, what we can throw away because it's ripped and so on. And I'm gonna separate everything into 5 categories because we have 5 boxes so far.
That it's over now, that it's over. We used to talk about getting older. We said we hold on, but now it's over. It can't be over.
While separating all of the books into categories, I'm gonna make sure that each kid gets at least 1 book, so my toddler and my baby. I don't like donating or throwing away books, but I'm gonna have to start because we just have way too many.
Spill it out. Don't you spare any details of how you feel about us. Spill it out. Don't you spare any details. Oh baby, as long as you don't say that it's over now, that it's over. We used to talk about getting older. We said we hold on, but now it's over.
Also, as you can see, smaller boxes don't work as well as bigger ones, and I will be replacing them as we get more bigger ones, but for right now that's all I have and I'm working with it. And also in the end I would have to leave room in each box to top them up with puzzles. Now I'm adding my baby son's toys into the boxes, at least 2 toys per box. I am gonna end up with a bunch of books I won't know what to do with, so I'm gonna put them to the side for now and decide on that later. And now it is time to go through that extra pile of the small items, see what I have in there, separate them into blocks, I guess, building blocks and puzzle pieces, etc.
You and me cheated for a long time. You had me fooled and there were no signs. And you stole my time and I lived my life with you. Should have known that you'd never make it through. Stole my time and I lived my life with you. Should have known that you'd lose. It was all a robbery. It was all a robbery. It was all a robbery, 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 robbery. Came to be a little fuzzy, honey. I didn't know what you wanted from me. Rather heard it from the beginning that you didn't know what you were feeling. Never ever really crossed my mind that you were just hanging around. Never ever really crossed my mind that this would end up upside down. Oh, oh, oh. You and me cheated for a long time. You had me fooled and there were no signs. And you stole my time and I lived my life with you. Should have.
As you can see, I'm going to be taking all of the dolls out of the dollhouse for now and putting them into and treat them as one of the special packages, as for example a doctor toy package or musical instruments package, dollhouse package. And when it comes to toys like that, for example a big toy with a lot of small toys included with it, for example kitchen, a lot of plates and cups. So my rule is going to be to take all of the small items out and place them together in one package and give it out on their turn, while leaving the big part, for example the actual kitchen or the actual dollhouse, inside the room, or maybe placing it in the closet. It really is up to you. So far each package, each rotation box has soft toys for both kids, some for him, some for her, some books but for both of the kids, some extra toys here and there for both of them, and we're gonna top it up with those extra special toys of the week, let's say doctor stuff, musical instruments, and so on. So I'm numbering the boxes and I'm listing the items inside of those boxes in my notebook, and I'm gonna keep that notebook with me. However, it is up to you if you want to just place it or tape it to the box if it's easier. I know myself, I'm gonna be looking inside the notebook to see what I can switch and swap between the boxes, or what I can eliminate or replace. Because right now, since this is the first time for me to set up an actual official rotation system, I might not have it set up completely perfectly today, but I'll have a better feel for it in a couple of weeks to come when I know how they feel when I give them a new rotation package. So after I'm done with putting all of the so-called special toys into each box, for example this one gets cleaning supplies as a special toy for this package, I am going to be pretty much done with the basic setup of each rotation box. And we're still gonna need to top them up with some puzzles, decide where we're gonna keep all the rotation boxes, and decide what we're gonna do with the extra toys and books.
Stronger, much stronger than they will ever be. Don't you know that you're beautiful, just the way you are, just the way you came. Don't you know that you're beautiful, no matter what the scars.
I'm not gonna do very much decluttering in this video. That's simply because before I even declutter anything, I'm gonna have to give it a test and see if they're really tired of this toy, or if they're really not going to play with it, or maybe they are just tired of seeing it and of it always being available together with all the other toys. Maybe they're not quite grown into it, or maybe they're grown out of it. There's a couple of factors that I need to consider before I declutter any of the toys. There's a couple of toys my daughter is grown out of, but my son is not interested in them yet because he's too young. I'm going to create a solution for those type of toys as well. Some of you mentioned in the comments something I never paid attention to before, but now that I think about it, my daughter used to have a couple of toys she never really cared for, and sometime later, weeks or months, all of a sudden it's one of her favorite toys. So I think it's a good thing to remember when decluttering. While I hate clutter myself and try to live a more minimalistic life as much as I can, kids come with stuff and we're gonna have to deal with it. So I think for now, the rule I'm gonna be following is I'm gonna take away all of the toys, and then as I give them back, I'm gonna see if they're excited to see them. If they're not excited to see them, I'm gonna think maybe they're not quite grown into it yet, and will they possibly be interested in it later? If not, then it's probably gonna be donated. Also, if I have 2 or more of the same kind of toys, I'm gonna pick one and go from there. For example, wooden over plastic. Again, if you have any corrections or opinions on this matter, don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. I'm not teaching anybody anything, just sharing what I'm going through, and I'm trying to do my best for the kids. So there is a lot of stuff to decide, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself or any of you, so I decided to split this video into 2. So in this video we have set all of our toys into 5 rotation boxes plus some extra boxes, and I have put them all into my son's room for now because I'm still going to be working with them in my next video, in which we're going to be organizing all of our puzzles and dividing them into the rotation boxes, deciding which type and how many each box gets because they're different types. Also decide where to keep all the storage boxes, how often should the kids get them, and just extra stuff like that. So, and for now I'm just gonna clean up this room a little and see if there's a difference between where we started and where we are now. And I showed you this vacuum was almost empty when I started vacuuming this room.
You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself, and the way of how you dwell, I get it. Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends.
My vacuum battery died on me all of a sudden, but even with vacuuming half of the room, this is how much dirt I got out. I'm really not sure what happened here. I'm suspecting it to be a smoothie. I'm just gonna wipe it off real quick. As I'm wiping the dust, you can see that most of the bins are almost empty. I love leaving empty space whenever decluttering or cleaning. It's just there's always more stuff to come into the house. So far it was much easier to breathe in the room because of most of the clutter gone from the room. I gave the kids one of the boxes to play with, and I was happy to see them actually playing with it and paying attention. And I actually found my daughter reading, sitting on the bed and reading one of the books that she didn't touch in months because she had thousands.
That is firework. Good job.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in part 2 of this video.